Hi, welcome to Sikkhon.com. In today's video tutorial class, we're going to learn how to do date and time formatting in MS Excel. With the help of data of date and time, we are going to analyze that and prepare a calculation chart of date and time. After performing the calculation, we can analyze the check-in and check-out time and date. We will learn to find out this format. And finally, how is a date prepared, which means how its functional value is prepared. What is the start and the ending date? So these topics related to date will be learned and discussed in today's class. So let us start. I am Muhammad Alamin Hussain, CEO and founder of Sikkhon.com. So without any delay, let us start today's class. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like and share the video. At first, let us understand few topics related to date. Every date itself is a functional value, which means if we see that mathematically, every date is prepared separately with the help of a value. For example, if we write a date over here, let us first delete these dates. Okay. So here you are going to write today's date. So today's date is 28. So in field of writing date, let us remember some format. At many times we see the month is written in the first place while some place dates are in the first, which means if today is 28th of July, so the value here will come out as 28/7/2020. So if we write this date in some document, in that place we will have to write 7/28/2020. So now if we want to write, we will write 7/28/2020, then enter. So whenever our file is in a date format, then automatically our date function from above will be selected. So if we write this date over here as 28/7/2020 and enter, so now we will notice the format which we have is in a date format, but did not automatically shift to the right side as a date format. The reason behind this is when we wrote the date format in front, according to that date format, the date formatting in the documents which are already set, that format did not match. So these formattings are formatted to country-wise, which means the United States, which is America, has different formats, United Kingdom has different formats, and even other countries has their own date format. So to change the date format, what we have to do, we're going to right click from this date, then we can see there is an option called Format Cells. After selecting this option, we have date on the left side, while we have many other options on the right side. So we will notice that all the formats which are given here, we can see 3/14, which means 14th of March. So in all the formats, 3 is in the front, which is 03, 3/14/1, 14 March 2001, 14th March. We can notice that all the formats have 3 in front, which means 14th March. So here we are going to notice there's an option called English United States, which means the date format is in of the United States. It is basically the staple format. So if we select a country from here, then we change the format to United Kingdoms. We will now notice after selecting United Kingdom, the number 14 has come up to the front. If we select United States again, then we can see that the 14 has gone to the second format and the format of the month has come up to the front, which is 3. So now we are going to press OK. The reason is because we have selected month in front here. We will have to remember that in this we have written the date in front. So we will now click on the date in which the month is in front and right click on it and go to Format Cells. When we do this, we will notice that also here the month is in the front, and when we went on this option from 28th March to Format Cells, even then the value is shown in the front, which was the month. Which means first is month, then comes date, then comes year. But what did we select here? We selected first date and then month. So this is the reason why our date format is not being set according to automated date formats. Now we will notice if we want to use these types of formats, we will select on the right side and then select on Format Cells. We will notice that the country given here is United States. So what will be the format according to United States? First comes the month, then is the date, then is the year, which is selected here. In the same way, if you select the country United Kingdom, we'll notice that the format here is date in front, then comes month, then comes year. So what we will see here is our date is automatically to 2/8/7/2020. So what did we learn from this? The date format in Excel depends on the format of the country date, which means different countries have different time zones and date formats. Although we use it, but we don't know the formats of every country, which is why we should know the country format so that we can write the date format according to the country format. When we select United States, we know that the month should be in the front. And if we want to keep the date in front, then we have to go to Format Cells. Then we have to select United Kingdoms. So this was our first step. We got to learn how to perform date formatting. From Format Cells, we have to select United States. Okay. Then comes the date value, which we discussed firstly. That every date which we calculate here, or the simple calculations of the date here, for example, equals 5 minus 2 and then press enter. The 3 that comes here is because of the value, which means Excel has calculated 2 values. Which is why when we calculate a date, in reality, the date does not count. What is calculated here is the value. For example, if I click on this date here, then we convert this date into a function mode. And to convert it into a function mode, what we have to do is to click on this comma from here. Then we will notice that the format which we have right now is accounting format. Now let us see what date has come here. 44,040.00, which means 44,040. Now what is the meaning of this value? 44,040 is the date of today. Now you may ask, when does this date start from? The starting date functionally is always termed 1/1/1900. So the date formatting starts from the year 1900. For example, if I convert this into a comma, we will see that number 1 has come. So the number which has been extracted here is from 1/1/1900. Now if I put a date which is before, which can be 1/1/1800, now we will notice that this does not come into date format. Now if I put a comma, we will see that our value does not come. In the same way, I mistakenly put the value here and now put over there, then we are going to see that no date is coming up. Which means when I have selected United States and used the date first and then the month, then the date format is mistaken by Excel. So in that place, sometimes what will happen is our calculation will be wrong and it won't be accurate. So while working with date, we will have to remember to perform the calculations correctly, we must correctly select the country. So secondly, what did we learn? That the date is a value and that value starts from 1900 and we calculate the dates from the 1900s. So let us cancel this and let us select the date format again here. Then we will notice that our first date has automatically come. The reason is the date format which we have used is 7/28/2020. Let us put one more date. For example, 7/25/2020. So now if I want to know if someone has checked in on 25th and checked out on 28th, we will perform a calculation. For example, if we put here equal, we will first subtract the bigger date from the lower date and then press enter. We will see the value automatically comes here 3. So where did this value come from? If we think functionally and extract the same value, and in the same way extract these values, then we are going to see here that the 3 is already less. Now if we calculate the same thing, equal, from the bigger date, let us subtract the smaller date and press enter. Then we can see again 3 is showing. So what did we learn here? If we calculate the 2 dates here, so those calculations are based on a number. Every date is a value and a number. So if the date formatting is not right for us, then we will not get the correct numbers. And if we don't get the correct numbers, our calculation will not be correct. Which is why our date format should be correct. And that is why if our date format is not correct, our calculations are incorrect. So this is our starting time, which means this number, which appears is from 1900. So if we put the short date, we will have 1900. And if we use the date before this one, in that case, the numbers won't be in accounting format. It will be in general format. Now, if we want to check a date after 100 days, we know this is a very simple process. Here is the given date. If we type equal and then select date and then add 100 days. So the date after 100 days will be shown here automatically. So now we can easily understand the value of this date. Plus 100 days is how we get the output from here to here. Now let's move on to time formatting. In the same way, we type 3 in time in formatting and give a colon. And after that, if we type 0 and press enter, then we can see that the time format has automatically appeared. In the same way, if I type 3 and press A, then we can see that 3 AM has come on the screen. So we can understand from here is that time is also in number format or is simply a value. So if we take a function and increase a digit, now we can see 0.125. And in the similar way, if I write 22 here or write 8 PM here and convert this into number format, then what we will see is the value is 833, which means all times also convert to number format in Excel, which means it has a value on which calculations can be performed. So now if we want to calculate 2 times, for example, if we write 3 PM over here, we have to give a space after the number and then we write 8 PM here. Now if I calculate these two formats, so equal 8 PM minus 3 PM, press enter. Here the value comes as 5 AM. So what we wanted here? We wanted to calculate the hour here. So if someone checks in at 3 PM and checks out at 8 PM, what is the total duration? So after calculating this, we have the value 5, but the value shown here is AM. This is because of data formatting. Let's right click here and go to Format Cells. Then we can notice carefully here that the format selected here is in hour, minute, AM and PM. But we don't want AM and PM. So what we have to do is click on hour, minute and second. After clicking on this, we can notice that 50000 is coming. So now if we cancel the seconds as well, now we can see it comes 500. So now if I even don't want the minutes here, let's say we just want the hour in the screen and we don't want any minutes after that. Sometimes we do need minutes. Let's keep it and see what we have here. We can see automatically 5 hours is showing here. Now if we edit and add 30 minutes, then the total duration here is 5.3, which means 5 hours and 30 minutes. So what did we learn here? Whenever we will perform time calculations, we will go to Format Cells, then we will select hour and minute option from the Format Cells so that we get the correct output. So this was for today's class. We learned how to extract values from date, how to actually calculate a date by using two dates, and we also learned where the starting date is in Excel. Also, the formatting of the date which starts from month or the dates. We understood these country-wise formattings here. And finally, we learned about time calculations. So now all you have to do is practice, practice and practice about Excel. And while practicing, if there is some questions that cannot be solved, don't forget to comment. Or you can go to our Facebook page and message there, like our page and comment your issues over there. Or you can even get connected to our forum, which is forum.sikkhon.com, and get your problems solved there. Thank you so much for being with Sikkhon.com.